What's up, guys? Today let's take a look at 52 Toys Street Fighter 6 Ryu. This came out at the same time with Chun-Li, and I grabbed it, of course, because I always grab a Street Fighter figure. And if you watch my Chun-Li review, you know I'm a bit mixed about Chun-Li. And unfortunately for this guy, it's pretty much the same sentiment, although a bit more mixed, which I'll explain later. So without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. I have taken the liberty of taking off his G to better showcase his musculature and the issue I have with him. And you can immediately tell, right? Not just that he's super shiny and he has the skin tone of Dalsin, is that the scope is so soft. Like as soft as a kid's toy. There's almost no scope to detail on the chest area. Very strange looking, and you have this comically ribbed ab section contrasting the chest. Like this very weird. And like on his back, almost no details. It's very strange looking. Granted, they do put a little bit shading on the muscle, on the creases, like a little bit here and on the arms, which again, I think the arms is like scope is passable. However, I think the arm, especially the shoulder, is too small. It doesn't look like a highly trained martial artist. Looks like a normal guy. Okay. Yeah, the overall, like the upper torso is very strange looking. I don't like it at all. And also his face. I think the scope is still a bit too soft, but at least the face is like well done enough. And also his neck, for whatever reason, like, is perpetually, like you cannot put the neck perfectly upward. It's always outstretched like this, like some of the amazing Yamaguchi figures. So that's unfortunate. And then I think this piece should be the same color as his pant. Maybe I'm wrong. At least that's the case on two of my other Street Fighter 6 Ryu figure, the Stone Collectible and Amazing Yamaguchi. So I can't remember if this is the case in game. And his pant, again, very soft sculpt, and there's no paint, no shading. So looks a bit cheap. And also his feet, at least the paint job is well done enough, but it looks like he has some sort of tumor on his feet. It's very strange looking. Yeah, unfortunately, like this whole scope on this guy is just, whack. Is that how they call it? Very strange looking. Like I put this guy next to the Stone Collectible Ryu, and you can see the problem, right? Even though they're not the same price point, but the muscle scope on Stone Collectible, which granted is always their strong suit, is much better looking than this guy, and also much more natural looking. This frankly just looks like a kid's toy. It's very disappointing that way. Yeah. All right, let's see his articulation. The head can look up, pretty good. Look down, bury his chin, rotation, and tilt. Oops, the bandana is on a ball joint. I think the plastic on the neck is super soft. Like when I was handling his neck articulation, like the back of the head is on a hinge. This part of hair already scratched the neck. Like it's so soft, the plastic. And the shoulder, this guy is designed almost completely different from Chun-Li. Again, pretty strange. The shoulder, this part is just a typical ball hinge shoulder, okay? And this separate piece is connected to a T-shape, how do you call it? T-shaped ball joint here, okay? So you can wiggle 360. You can raise way over 90 degrees. And let's see if I can do, yep, he can do the Hadouken pose. No issue. Oops. Here, hand cut off. Yeah, at least the butterfly range is good. Going back, not much because there's no cutout here. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, pretty good looking, and a little bit gapping here, but not a huge issue. Floating piece and ball hand wrist, standard stuff. Torso, once again, like I said, it's completely different. It's reversed from Changli, okay? Changli is a dumbbell joint here. This is only a single ball joint, but he does crunch forward nicely. Crunch back. Side. Rotation can only rotate about this much. And it's very creaky. Like you can see when I was rotating it, yeah, the inside of the chest already scratching the lower abdominal section. Like the plastic is so soft. Waist joint. Crunch forward this much. Crunch back. Side. Rotation 360. So he can crunch forward really good. Crunch back. Side. So torso articulation is pretty good. Hip joint. This is pretty much just a SHF design without the floating piece, okay? And of course, rotation. Kick forward. Back. Side. Side cut. Double jointed knee. Pretty good looking, and although there is a gap in here, and the range is pretty great. Now ankle, this part is using a dumbbell joint to connect to the lower leg, so there's a wiggle all around. Okay, ankle can go all the way back. All the way forward, that's pretty great. And ankle pivot. Yeah, really good ankle pivot. And the toe joint, for whatever reason, is angled. And this is not the way you cut the sandal, okay? You should cut it smoothly. So that's not very good. So yeah, surprisingly, like Changli, the articulation is pretty great. Just frankly, unfortunately ruined by the terrible scope. Okay, let's take a look at his accessories. Head, he comes with 2 extra, a Gratis head and a Yowling head. And I think the Yowling head is frankly pretty well done. He also comes with 2 extra pair of hands. You might be wondering, why does he come with less hand compared to Changli? Well, that's because he comes with these 2 punch effect for hands. Okay, you can just, this one, right? Yep, you can just plug it in, and there it is. He also comes with these 2 long punch effect. You can install them at the same way. You can see the fist here. These effects are pretty cool. He also comes with his Hadouken. It's okay. It's hard plastic, so be careful not to break it. And also this small stand. Okay. And of course, the G is fully wired, and the wire is very strong. So that's great. And then lastly, the same plastic stand as Changli. Again, for the price point, I think the accessories is actually pretty good. Let's do the size comparison. Next to the Stone Collectible Street Fighter 6 Ryu and the Amazing Yamaguchi Street Fighter 6 Ryu. SH Figure Street Fighter 4 Ryu and Stone Arena Street Fighter 03 Ryu. With 52 Toys Street Fighter 6 Changli and Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Changli with Device Driver Studio Head. Some people might say he's a little bit undersized, but if you fix Changli's neck, like his neck is really long, if you fix that, and then they should be about the correct scale. With Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Akuma and Mayfax Solar Suit Superman. With Blocky's Marvel Rival Spider-Man and Marvel Legend movie Wolverine. So yeah, I'm not going to recommend this guy, even though the accessory is pretty decent and the articulation is surprisingly good. The muscle scope on him is just terrible, right? His chest looks like he's wearing a spandex suit, yet he's half naked. Like with Changli, you can't argue that at least she's wearing clothes, so there's less sculpted detail, but like I said, this guy is half naked, and look at how soft the muscle sculpt here. It's frankly look at terrible. Like look at a kid's toy. I can't really recommend that. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate, especially considering that they're also going to do Street Fighter 6 Cammy, which I'm very much looking forward to. Now, there are a lot of talented sculptors in China. Why can't they just hire better sculptors? Right? The engineering is definitely there, but the scope is unfortunate. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, so this is after a couple heavy layer of matte finish, and frankly it does improve the look by quite a bit. However, the scope issue is still there, so you know, you have to judge it whether this is enough for you to ignore those scope issue. Alright, see you guys.